The story of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, is not just a historical narrative, it is a living example of what it means to trust in Allah without question, to submit without hesitation, and to walk forward even when the path ahead seems impossible. When we reflect on the journey of Ibrahim, especially the moment when he left his beloved wife Hajar and infant son Ismail in a barren desert with no apparent source of water, food, or shelter, it strikes the heart with awe. A man of immense conviction, he did not question Allah's command. He turned and walked away after fulfilling what was asked of him. Imagine the scene: the burning sun, the empty valley, the silence of the desert, nothing but rocks and sand, no sign of human life, no trees, no homes, nothing but obedience. He didn't leave them out of neglect, he didn't walk away out of convenience, he did so because he was commanded to. And when Hajar, a woman of deep faith herself, asked him, "Did Allah command you to do this?" and he replied with a silent nod, she responded, "Then He will not abandon us." That sentence alone reflects the legacy of trust embedded in their hearts. The trust of Ibrahim was so strong that he didn't need to know how Allah would take care of his family, he just knew He would, and Allah did. From that barren land came Zamzam, a water spring that still flows to this day. From that empty desert grew the foundations of Makkah, one of the most revered cities on earth. From that single act of submission came a nation, a sanctuary, and a symbol of faith for all time. This shows us something very important. Sometimes in life we are placed in situations that make no logical sense. You might be asked to walk away from a comfortable situation, or to leave behind something that seems beneficial, all for the sake of your principles and obedience to your Creator. In those moments you have to ask yourself, are you willing to trust in the unseen the way Ibrahim did? Are you willing to plant your feet firmly even when there's no path in sight? We often ask Allah for miracles, but we forget that miracles usually follow sacrifice. They come after submission. Ibrahim didn't see the water of Zamzam before he walked away. Hajar didn't find comfort before running between the hills of Safa and Marwa 7 times in search of water. They took action first, and then Allah responded with the miraculous. That's the pattern. You act in obedience, you walk in faith, and Allah opens the doors you could never have imagined. Sometimes the ground you're standing on seems lifeless. You think nothing good can come from your situation, but it is your faith, your submission, that transforms the barren desert into a wellspring of blessings. When we look at the Kaaba today, millions of people walk in the footsteps of Ibrahim and Hajar every year during Hajar. What started as an act of obedience in isolation became a global legacy of submission. That's what happens when you trust in Allah fully. Your footsteps are preserved, your sacrifices become milestones for others, your tears become the water that nourishes generations. In your own life the lessons are clear. Sometimes you will be required to make decisions that go against the logic of the world, but align perfectly with the command of your faith. People might question you. They may not understand your journey, but you don't need them to. You need to be like Ibrahim walk away when Allah tells you to walk away, stand firm when He commands you to stand, and leave the rest to Him. Ibrahim didn't negotiate with Allah. He didn't say, "Let me wait until I find a safer place." He didn't ask what will happen to my son. He just obeyed. That level of trust is rare but powerful. And when we begin to incorporate even a fraction of that into our lives, we begin to see the barakah that flows from it. You'll notice how Allah opens doors that you didn't even knock on. You'll find strength in moments you thought would break you, and you'll understand that true faith isn't about knowing the outcome, it's about trusting the one who controls it. It's also important to note that Ibrahim was not immune to emotion. He loved his family deeply, he cared for them. So his actions weren't cold or robotic. His obedience was not void of feeling, it was fueled by love, not just for his family, but for his Creator. That's the type of love that prioritizes obedience over comfort. That's the kind of love that makes a person willing to place their entire life in the hands of Allah, knowing that what He has planned is far greater than what we can ever see. And what was the result? not just the water of Zamzam, not just the city of Makkah, but generations of believers who follow his legacy. The entire Ummah bears witness to his sacrifice. Every prayer made toward the Kaaba, every Hajar performed, every sip of Zamzam, all trace back to that moment of obedience. That's the power of trusting Allah. It echoes beyond your own life, it touches hearts and souls far beyond your immediate circle, and it leaves behind a path that others can walk on long after you've gone. So whenever you are placed in a situation where you feel like you're in a desert, emotionally, spiritually, or physically, remember the story of Ibrahim. Remember that the most barren of places can become the most blessed if you are willing to trust Allah. Remember that the most silent moments often lead to the loudest miracles. And remember that footprints made in submission are never forgotten by the one who commanded the walk. True love, the kind that lasts and carries weight in both this world and the next, always leads you toward Allah, never away from Him. It uplifts you, reminds you of your purpose, and encourages you to become a better version of yourself, not just in the eyes of another human being, but in the sight of your Creator. It's easy to be swept away by surface-level attraction, the way someone looks, the way they speak, the way they make you feel in the moment. But if that connection doesn't feed your soul, and doesn't align with your spiritual journey, then it's a bond built on sand, not on stone. When someone is truly attracted to you with sincerity, one of the clearest signs is that their presence inspires you to remember Allah more. You feel a sense of peace, not chaos. Your thoughts become clearer, you're more conscious of your prayers, you're more inclined to do what is right and avoid what is wrong. Their love does not make you compromise your faith, it strengthens it. It doesn't create confusion, it brings clarity. That's because a heart that is connected to Allah will never lead another heart away from Him. Sometimes attraction can feel intense and overwhelming, but that doesn't always mean it's real or good for you. There are connections that burn bright but are harmful, because they come from a place of desire or ego. When someone is attracted to you with genuine love and intention, they will honor you in private and in public. They will guard your dignity, even in your absence. They will not pull you into sin, and claim that it's out of love. Rather, they will hold your hand and walk with you toward what is halal, even if the road is long. That's the difference between a love rooted in the soul, and one rooted in the self. You'll notice that in this kind of attraction, there's no pressure, there's patience. There's respect for your values and boundaries. If a person makes you feel guilty for wanting to preserve your modesty, your dignity, or your connection with Allah, then that is not love, it's a disguise. Real love doesn't manipulate, it doesn't play games, it doesn't demand what is not permissible. It waits, it plans, it makes dua, it takes the right steps, and above all, it prioritizes Allah in every stage. When someone is truly attracted to you, their efforts are not hidden or inconsistent. They will not pop in and out of your life, leaving you confused and emotionally drained. Their presence will be intentional. You'll see it in their actions more than their words. They'll speak of future in ways that include stability, commitment, and responsibility. They'll care about your emotional well-being, your spiritual growth, your family, and your peace of mind. Their attraction will not be based on what you give them, or how you serve their ego, but on how they can contribute to your growth as a believer and a human being. It is not wrong to want to be loved, it is not wrong to hope someone is attracted to you. These are natural feelings. But when your need for love leads you to forget your values, when it pushes you toward haram interactions or makes you ignore red flags, then you are placing the love of creation above the love of the Creator. And that imbalance always leads to heartbreak. The love that Allah blesses is the love that preserves your dignity. It's the love that brings you closer to Him. It's the love that you can speak about in dua, with no shame in your heart. You must also understand that true love is built on intention, not impulse. It seeks goodness for the other person, even if that means letting go for a while. It's not obsessive, it's not controlling, it's not possessive, it's gentle, it nurtures, it gives space for growth. A person who is truly attracted to you with sincerity will never ask you to disobey Allah to prove your love. Instead, they will help you remain firm. They will fast with you, pray for you, encourage your dreams, support your discipline, and stand by you through tests, not just smile during your successes. And what is beautiful about such a connection is that it reflects the very nature of our deen. Islam is a religion that emphasizes purity, transparency, and intention. If a relationship begins with these values, it is far more likely to be filled with barakah. If it begins in darkness, it will always struggle to find the light. And if you allow yourself to be drawn only by looks or fleeting attraction, you may find yourself attached to someone who doesn't honor your soul or your faith. Real attraction has depth. It sees beyond the outer form. It notices your akhlaq, your dedication, your integrity. It's attracted to your strength in salah, your mercy in speech, your loyalty, and your patience. That kind of attraction is rare, but it is worth waiting for. It is the kind that doesn't just admire you, it honors the journey you're on. It respects the path you're taking, even if it means they must walk parallel until the time is right. So if you're wondering whether someone is genuinely attracted to you in a way that pleases Allah, ask yourself, do I feel closer to my Lord because of them? Do I feel more encouraged to be better, kinder, more focused on my goals? Do they bring me calm, not confusion? Do they push me toward good, not away from it? And most importantly, do they value my connection with Allah as much as I do? If the answer is yes, then thank Allah and seek His guidance in taking the next steps in a halal manner. But if the answer is no, then no matter how charming they are, no matter how strong the connection feels, understand that anything which distances you from Allah can never bring you lasting peace. Attraction that is pure always includes Allah in the conversation. It begins with dua, it grows with patience, and it is sealed by commitment. Anything less than that is temporary. Anything more than that with sincerity and effort becomes a source of light, not just in this world, but in the next. Attraction is a powerful force, but when it is guided by purity and sincerity, it becomes a beautiful and meaningful path, rather than a fleeting emotion. In a world where love is often portrayed through superficial gestures and emotional highs, it is crucial to understand the deeper signs of genuine attraction, those that are not driven by lust or ego, but by a true desire to honor, respect, and grow with another soul. When someone is truly attracted to you in a way that aligns with faith, that attraction manifests in quiet yet powerful ways. 4 clear signs often emerge: respect, consistency, humility, and the willingness to sacrifice in halal ways. These signs are not based on what the world celebrates, but on what the heart recognizes when it is centered in submission to Allah. Respect is the first and most vital sign. A person who truly values you will never cross your boundaries. They will honor your decisions, even when they disagree. They will never pressure you to do something that goes against your beliefs or makes you uncomfortable. Their attraction to you is not about possession, it's about protection. They do not treat your modesty as an obstacle, but as a crown. They speak to you with dignity, not flattery. They listen more than they speak, and when they do speak, their words carry weight, because they are not trying to impress you, they are trying to understand you. When someone is attracted to you with respect, it shows in the way they talk about you when you're not around. It shows in the way they guard your honor in every space they occupy. It shows in how they never make you feel like you have to change who you are to be loved. Then comes consistency. In a world of fast communication and fleeting emotions, someone who shows up for you consistently, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, is someone whose attraction is real. They are not only present in your highs, they remain in your lows. They do not disappear when things get difficult. They do not treat you like an option. You don't have to chase them to feel noticed. Their effort is steady, not erratic. Their communication is honest, not calculated. They do not use silence as punishment or attention as manipulation. Real attraction is never about confusion. It brings peace, not anxiety. It brings assurance, not constant doubt. The one who is truly drawn to you will keep showing up without needing reminders, because their feelings are grounded in sincerity, not in temporary emotion. Humility is another deep sign. Someone who is truly attracted to you will not feel the need to dominate you. They will not boast about their strengths to make you feel small. Instead, they will make space for your strengths. They will be willing to learn from you. They will see your knowledge and values as a blessing, not a challenge. Humility in attraction means the person does not feel threatened by your faith, your growth, or your goals. It means they are happy to support your dreams, even when it doesn't serve their ego. They apologize when they are wrong. They ask for advice instead of pretending they have it all figured out. Humility creates room for mutual growth. When two people walk in humility toward one another, they walk toward Allah together. They don't race each other, they lift each other. And finally, the willingness to sacrifice in halal ways. True attraction is not selfish. It is not about taking from the other. It is about giving, but not in ways that are sinful or harmful. Rather, someone who is truly drawn to you will be willing to delay gratification for the sake of doing things right. They won't rush you into intimacy or force a relationship in secrecy. They will be willing to wait until the timing is right, until families are involved, until nikah is possible. They'll make the effort to take the proper steps, even if it's not easy. They'll involve the right people, seek guidance, and pray with you, not just for you. The love that Allah blesses is the one that does not bypass His rules. Any attraction that causes you to disobey Allah may feel sweet in the moment, but it is only temporary. A person willing to take the longer path, because it is the right path, is someone whose attraction is real. It is important to understand that love without action is just words, and attraction without honor is just impulse. When you witness these four signs, respect, consistency, humility, and sacrifice, you are not just witnessing feelings, you are witnessing character. And character is what sustains love when beauty fades, when emotions shift, when life tests you. It is what keeps two people grounded in reality and elevated by faith. Don't be fooled by the loud gestures of temporary affection. Flowers that bloom overnight often wither just as fast. Real love takes time. Real attraction, the kind that pleases Allah, is slow burning but lasting. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It is felt in the silent acts of care, the gentle reminders of prayer, the quiet willingness to wait, and the unseen efforts made in dua. Many people can say they love you. Few will prove it through respectful boundaries, consistent presence, humble dialogue, and pure intentions, and fewer still will be willing to walk with you through life's challenges, while keeping Allah at the center. That's because the heart that is connected to Allah is not desperate for attention, it is patient for what is written. It knows that love given too easily often ends in heartbreak, but love pursued with dignity leads to something lasting. So if you are looking for signs that someone is truly attracted to you, look beyond the compliments, the messages, the chemistry. Ask yourself, do they help you grow in your faith? Do they respect your values even when it's inconvenient for them? Do they keep their word and make their intentions clear? Do they encourage the right and discourage the wrong? And above all, do they love you for who you are today and who you are striving to become? These four signs are not loud, they are subtle but unmistakable. And if you find them in someone, or better yet, if you embody them yourself, you are not just preparing for love, you are preparing for a relationship that brings you closer to the one who created love in the first place. The story of Hajar, peace be upon her, the wife of Ibrahim, peace be upon him, walking between the hills of Safa and Marwa, in search of water, is not simply a historical account, it is a timeless lesson of devotion, struggle, and divine reward. Her footsteps, carved into the sands of a barren desert, became a sacred ritual performed by millions during the pilgrimage of Hajj. Why? Because those steps were not ordinary, they were filled with sincerity, sacrifice, and deep reliance on Allah. They were the footsteps of a mother with no one else to turn to except her Lord, and because of her unwavering faith, Allah preserved her legacy forever. When a relationship or any human connection is built on the foundation of sincere intention, selflessness, and remembrance of Allah, it carries the same spirit. It may not look glamorous to the world, it may be silent, private, and uncelebrated, but it is powerful in the unseen. Relationships that are born out of pure sacrifice, not selfish gain, have an eternal impact. Just as Hajar's determination and trust led to the miracle of Zamzam, a water source that nourishes generations, the footsteps of a pure heart in any bond leave behind blessings that reach beyond their time. Love that lasts is not built on fleeting excitement or temporary passion. It is built on patience, struggle, and commitment. Hajar did not wait passively for a miracle. She moved, she climbed, she ran, she kept going, not once, not twice, but 7 times. That determination teaches us something essential. When love is pure, it does not sit still. It takes action. It fights for what is right. It doesn't give up when things become difficult. The most meaningful relationships are not those that are perfect, but those that keep moving forward despite the obstacles. They keep going, hand in hand with the hope that Allah will respond. If you look at the life of Ibrahim, as his legacy is filled with such examples, leaving his family in a barren land, being commanded to sacrifice his son, building the Kaaba with his own hands. Every step of his life was a footprint of obedience. And what happened? Those steps were honored. His footsteps too became a part of pilgrimage, not because he was seeking recognition, but because he was walking for Allah. This is the secret of eternal legacy. When you walk for the sake of Allah, your steps are never lost, they are preserved, honored, and multiplied. This applies in relationships too. When two people commit to each other for the right reasons, when their love is rooted in pleasing Allah and growing together in faith, their bond becomes unshakable. Even if the world doesn't applaud them, even if their love isn't written about or posted online, it is written in the heavens. Their sacrifices for each other, whether it's through patience, forgiveness, or helping each other stay firm in deen, become a record of light. Sometimes we think love must be grand to be meaningful, but look at the story of Hajar. Her act wasn't grand in the worldly sense. It was a mother running back and forth in desperation, yet it became immortal. Why? Because it was sincere. In the same way, your quiet acts of love, praying for your spouse, without them knowing, encouraging someone to hold on to their faith, choosing patience over anger, walking away from haram out of love for someone's soul, those actions are never wasted. They leave behind invisible footprints that angels record. When love is infused with faith, it becomes a legacy. It becomes something you pass on to your children, your family, your community. It becomes a story others are inspired by. Even long after you're gone, people may not remember what you looked like, what you wore, or where you lived, but they will remember how you made them feel. They will remember your character. They will remember the sacrifices you made for something greater than yourself. That is the essence of leaving a footprint. It is not about being perfect. Ibrahim, and Hajar, Allah, were human. They faced fear, pain, and uncertainty. But what made their story extraordinary was their unwavering trust in Allah. They kept going, and because of that, every step they took turned into a miracle. Your steps can be the same in your marriage, in your friendships, in your parenting. Every moment you choose sacrifice over selfishness, sincerity over show, and faith over fear, you are leaving behind something sacred. Think about the footsteps you are creating now. Are they shallow and fleeting, or are they deep and meaningful? Are you walking to impress others, or are you walking for Allah? Because if it's for Him, it will last. If it's for Him, it will bear fruit. Even if no one sees it today, there will be times when your sacrifices feel unseen, times when your patience is tested, times when your sincerity is questioned. But remember Hajar, she was alone in a desert, no audience, no comfort, just a crying child, and an empty horizon. Yet her name is honored, her steps are replicated, her story is known across the world. Why? Because her love was real, her faith was pure, and her footsteps were a prayer. When you give from a place of sincerity, when your love is built on a desire to please Allah, your efforts become sacred. They are counted, they are multiplied, they are remembered by the one who sees all. You may not be running between two hills, but you may be running between jobs to support your family. You may be walking away from haram to protect someone's dignity. You may be standing alone in prayer, asking for guidance for someone you love. Those are your footsteps. They are just as sacred. So let your love be like the footsteps of Hajar and Ibrahim. Let it be filled with meaning, with action, with submission. Let it be quiet, but strong. Let it be invisible to the world, but clear in the eyes of Allah. That is the love that lasts. That is the kind of love that writes history, not with words, but with actions that echo in the hearts of believers long after your own journey is done.